Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for each life path number for the beginning of this new year, January 2025. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like your own personal reading with your own personal numerology, please book some time with me. I would love to work with you. My information is in the description box below. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this big energy that we are kicking off 2025 with. Life path number 6. You all are going to be working with a pretty intense energy to kick off this new year. You're going to be working with the vibration of the 16-7. When this comes in a cycle, it can definitely bring some things into focus that we have to deal with. Like we have to figure out, we've got to move through it, we've got to either release it, we've got to make some changes, some transformations. And some of these things could come in quite abruptly and sort of demand our attention. And so think of this period as an opportunity to get to the bottom of something that has been holding you back, that maybe you were aware of, maybe you weren't. And this is not the time to sort of avoid whatever this is. So it might be that you have to have a difficult conversation with someone. It might be that something comes up around your health that needs your attention. It might be that something comes up around your home that needs your attention, or your work, or whatever. Do not disregard or easily dismiss whatever shows up. Make sure you face it, deal with it, and hopefully, find some kind of a solution for it. This energy can feel a little bit aggressive and a little intense, or a lot intense, but it's really just trying to, again, divert your attention to the places in your life that absolutely need your attention so that you can move forward in a way that is more freeing, right? And that is more beneficial. So the unforeseen and sudden events of this period are intended to sort of help you to release any existing conditions or situations, especially in the material sense, that are just not serving you. Belief systems, thoughts, not really thoughts. We can't control what thoughts come in for us, but the belief systems, right? Like the thoughts that we choose to take action on, or the thoughts that we choose to believe, those belief systems could come under evaluation at this time. Habits, right? The actions that we take from those belief systems, our values, so much can come under the sort of the chopping block at this time that needs to be altered in some way. And, for some, this has to be done in sort of a forceful manner, and that is the vibration of the 16-7. It comes in, it says, this is not up for negotiation. You've had the invitation, for whatever reason, you didn't take action. So the 16-7 comes in and takes the action for you, right? So you'll likely already know what this is around. It's, some area of your life that you've been holding on to, something that's not serving you. And it could be, again, how you're showing up to relationships, how you are allowing yourself to become taken advantage of, or whatever shows up for you. But this energy is here to help you to get rid of that, to release it, to shift gears. There can be losses and setbacks, especially in business and financial affairs under this vibration. So this isn't a time to take speculative risks. This isn't a time to just go in blindly to something. Do your due diligence, read the fine print, make sure that your best interest is also being taken into consideration. You just want to make sure that you are covering your butt in situations, not being like overly cynical or overly protective or whatever, right? Or overly cautious. Just do your due diligence, just to make sure that, your interests are being taken into consideration. This is also a situation where you could see either it happens with you or someone that is in some kind of a scandal, and because of that scandal, they might get a divorce or lose their, job or something like that. It's that kind of energy, or can be that kind of energy. It doesn't mean that's meant to happen. It's just that basically selfish ambitions sort of fall under the vibration of the 16. And so in extreme cases, anything is happening because like with lack of integrity could be on the chopping block, right? And kind of come into the spotlight. So you could find things out about people that you just never would have expected, but that awareness helps you to decide how you want to move forward, either in that engagement or that relationship or your job or whatever. So this would be a vibration where like, the CEO of your company might get arrested for money laundering or something, right? And so it's this big scandal and it affects your business or the business that you work for. It's that kind of energy. And so, and by proxy, that's you're being affected in some way, potentially. But again, if there was a lack of integrity there, it needs to go so that something more solid and sustainable can enter. It's possible that deception, trouble in matters of the heart are likely at this time. So be careful about obsession, manipulation, control when it comes to relationships. Make sure that the love that you put out there is not misplaced, because otherwise you're going to be disappointed in what you get in return. So make sure that there's an equal exchange of energy and reciprocity in your connections. And that includes with work, with colleagues, friends, family, partners, whatever. This energy is going to show you where there's that disconnect, where there is not that reciprocity. And as a 6, this is a journey, a lifetime for you of getting to a place where there is reciprocity and an equal exchange of energy in your relationships, and where you are not the overgiver, right? And you might have to set those higher standards. You might have to, have those difficult conversations, or you might have some connections that fall away during this time. But just know, if they fall away, is because they're not able to meet you at that vibration that is of that, that equal exchange of energy or that reciprocity. And this energy's, sees that it's not serving you. So will likely bring in some kind of transformative event to help you to release it or to move in a different direction. Just be careful also about, any disappointments that might come up around relationships, that you don't go so deep into that you lose sight of why it had to fall away, right? If there is trouble in relationships or from, close friends or whatever. And just be careful that, you're not allowing your pride to sort of take over, leading to some kind of isolation, right? Or, some kind of unnecessary separation. Also, with this energy and this influence, I would say don't overwork now. This would be a great time to take a vacation, take a break, re-energize, self-soothe, give yourself some downtime, because overusing your energy at this time can take its toll on your health, and you could see some things around your health crop up at this time, around maybe some chronic health concerns or some nagging things that have been kind of going on. You just want to make sure that you're not doing things to sort of exacerbate that. You want to make sure that if health concerns do show up, that you're getting it checked out, you're getting it looked at, that you're not overworking, that you're not overextending yourself at this time. This is a time for just being mindful of how you're using your energy, right? Be careful of any accidents or conflicts with others. This is an energy where emotions can be kind of running hot and, can escalate quickly. So you just want to make sure that you are just coming back to your center, let's put it that way. And just not overextending, not overreacting, just managing your emotions and making sure that you're creating ample space and time to take care of yourself. This energy is not all this intense and this conflicting, right? It can also be used for, a lot of getting a lot done, because there's a lot of sort of energy behind this, and it can kind of bring in some extra energy spurts. So use that time wisely so that you can start to, kind of plan for how you want to move forward, especially if there's some kind of loss or something that has to fall away at this time. This is a great time to get in touch with your intuition, get in touch with your inner self, and figure out what it is that you want to do moving forward. What's the next path? What's the next step? What's the path that you want to take? And listen to that generous advice of your inner self, right? And by doing so, you can formulate those plans and implement, the next steps in the next cycle, right? In February, when this energy sort of subsides. And also, it's very possible that you could find this period to be very creative. Like a lot of creative sparks could come in. And, you could tap into some creative talents that you didn't know you had or you knew you had, and now you're sort of building on those to work towards some kind of future goal that will inevitably bring good fortune. So the purpose of this energy is sort of to get rid of those barriers, get rid of those roadblocks, get rid of that junk that's standing in the way of you being prosperous and of you sort of tapping into that creativity, because your energy is being expended in places it doesn't need to be expended. This energy of the 16-7 helps to clean that up, right? A lot of bright prospects could arise suddenly, a lot of opportunities for the future. So much good can come out of this energy, especially through that cleanup process. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are moving through anything that becomes a little bit challenging, right? That you're being asked to release at this time. It's interesting because you're working with mongoose energy for your animal wisdom message for January. And this is about being self-assertive. This is about being genuine. This is about being candid. And, and really what comes to mind is speaking up for yourself, taking up more space. Remember, we talked about equal exchange of energy, reciprocity. This is going to be a time where you're meant to take up that space, initiate those difficult conversations, express what it is that you need, and then stand behind that. And, if people can't meet you there, then that's a bigger conversation. And there might be some release that needs to happen there or some change of circumstances. So mongoose energy is helping to give you that confidence and that courage to be able to take up more space, to be able to speak up for yourself. Will there be things that fall away or relationships that fall away because of that? Perhaps. But if that's the case, then they weren't really serving you and you weren't really serving them in a way that was for everyone's highest good. So it needed to happen. And this 16-7, that's what it's about. Helping you break free from what is not serving you. So, I hope it's a good one. It will be. It'll be transformative, I'm sure. But, if it is transformative, it's because it needed to be. So, and it's setting you up for something really prosperous in the future with the energy that you need to be able to do that, to be able to step into that prosperity. So, hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now.